curtain raiser on the Wednesday afternoon is the Ballymore Novice Hurdle. Thrown up some greats over the years. A quick show of betting, because everything's going to be about trying to find runners here. But down the card, we've got the Sir Gerhard is the 15-8 favourite. Dysart Dynamo 4-1 second in. Ginto 5-1. Journey for me 11-2. Stage Star 7. Walking on Air 8. Manila Kukuna 9-1. Kilcrut 12. Stateman 12. 3 Stripe Life 12. Flynn, I'll come to you first, because the key with a race like this, the Turners, except some of those other sort of middle distance races, is trying to find runners. And the betting patterns and the market can certainly help. It's probably the most informative thing in these races is the betting. So let's take the top two, Sir Gerhard and Dysart Dynamo. In your opinion, and from the money you've seen, where do you think those two horses will run?
I think that Sir Gerhard goes here.
Yeah.
I think Dysart Dynamo goes supreme. Yeah. Again, we're probably a little bit too far out to actually tell. It's probably next week is when we start to get the proper vibes. But there has been chat around whether Dysart Dynamo will settle in the Ballymore trip, and that's why they're going to go to the Supreme. And I think if they're towing that line, then they probably will. Sir Gerhard stayed on so well the last day. So in terms of how the market's shaping at the moment, like I say, 15-8 Sir Gerhard and 4-1 Dysart Dynamo, I would imagine that Sir Gerhard will be the one that is going here.
And we've seen much in the race, or has it been too tricky for punters working out what's going to go where? I know we're not big non-runner no-bet fans, and I know that, so that's obviously going to put people playing with us at this stage.
Well, yeah, I mean, we try to stay ante-post rules applied for as long as possible, because we want to give the punters a chance to take a bigger price back. So that's what ante-post punting is all about. So if they want to take 15-8 Sir Gerhard with us rather than take 7-4, 6-4 with a non-runner no-bet firm, then they can. In terms of what we've taken, we've actually laid a few of the bigger ones. So 3 Stripe Life, we've laid, he would be a loser here. And then I Am Maximus would be another one at a bigger price, which we've laid. So we haven't seen much in front of the market. It might be that adage of punters wanting to wait to see where they actually go, but it would be a couple of big price ones that we've laid.
Perfect. Right, Davy, I'm trying to reinvigorate my enthusiasm for the Ballymore after our boy got injured a couple of weeks ago. But this is a race we've talked about a lot during the season on the Zoom rooms. 3 Stripe Life is a horse I've always loved. I never think he's sort of got the respect he deserves in terms of price and the market opinion. Gordon's got him and Ginto in the race. They're the two most prevalent in the market. At this stage, do you think Ginto will end up going here, or do you think he'll step up and trip? Because I keep thinking he'll end up in the Albert Bartlett, and everyone keeps telling me otherwise.
Yeah, well, I suppose Ginto is the one that can step up to 3 miles if necessary. We also have Mighty Potter and 3 Stripes Life. So, look, as we sit here, there's absolutely no decision made, because they have to, this is the week, as Flynn said, this is the week now they'll be doing their pieces of work. You might see one star over the other, or show that little bit more gear, or has improved that little bit more, and they may separate. In an ideal world, Gordon doesn't want to throw all his aces into the one race, but he has, a lot of horses that could run in this race. 3 Stripe Life is one maybe that does show pace. He has plenty of pace, so he could stay at the 2 mile, whereas Ginto is definitely, he's definitely 2.5 plus. So, and then Mighty Potter again is one of them horses that has all the form over 2 miles, but at home, he's not that he's lazy or anything, but he does show plenty of stamina. He's a good horse.
Some lovely problems to have.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so listen, it's one thing working out what's going to run, but the other is what's going to win. So let's just take on face value. Imagine we've got everything in here is going to run at the moment, and we'll go from there. Most likely winner for you, and then you, please.
I suppose Sir Gerhard is the key. That changes. Everything changes with whatever decision is made on him. And as I, didn't have to spell it this year. Journey with me is a very talented horse, and it gets back to what we said earlier on about Kilcrut. You say he hasn't had the best to run throughs, but this horse beat him, and with the Manila horse, Manila Crooner in second, that could you know, we could be looking at the back of the Supreme Novices and saying that's the form we need to go on. So you could have the three, you could have the Supreme Novices, the Ballymore and the 3 mile race, and there could be that line of form, you know. So that's just he's a very interesting horse, and
I've been looking at this race all day, every day for about 4 months, and I think I'm more confused now than I was at the start of it. It could go everywhere, and I think you're right. That depends. Sir Gerhard's going to shape this race, isn't it,
Yeah,
Bill?
I mean, I think the first thing to say is we won't know till 10 o'clock on Sunday morning the shape of this race, because that's when Willie will. He won't make an announcement. He'll just declare one or other for the Supreme. I expect Sir Gerhard to turn up here. There's a lot of negative vibes around Journey With Me. I'm not sure how well that preparation's going. There's negative vibes about Walking on Air. Not sure how well that preparation is going.
So that yard's not been going particularly well either.
So this is becoming very winnable for Sir Gerhard. And it's also, with the competitive Supreme, people are going to have one look at this race and say, wow, are we dancing the wrong disco? This horse, Sir Gerhard, will take the world of beating. I think the trip will be fine for him. I think it'll be odds on, and I think it'll win.
I must admit, I don't like agreeing things like that. I think he could go off odds on in this race. I think there's so many in here with question marks about, one, whether they run, and two, whether they'll run well. Like, the Journey For Me, you've said, has got a question mark. Stage Star, the yard's been under a cloud for a while. Walking on Air's been a big drifter in recent weeks. Kilcruck could go elsewhere. Ginto could step up. Dysart Dynamo, I hope, will win the Supreme. I mean, other than Sir Gerhard, you've got question marks about the next 7 or 8 in the betting. How many run?
Yeah, then the other thing just to say about Sir Gerhard is that if he does go here and 3 Stripe Life goes for the Supreme and runs well in the Supreme, he's going to get even shorter. So that's just something to factor in. But I think he's the clear one to beat.
Okay, we'll keep it simple. Everyone gets a selection with Sir Gerhard in the race, and then we'll do a selection without it, if you know what I mean, because I think that's the best way of tackling the race at this point. So, Flynn, if Sir Gerhard's running in the race, do you think he'll win?
I think he's the most likely winner, but the one that I think is the best horse in the race, especially for the future, is probably Ginto. What did you think, Davey? Were you on hollow games the last day behind him? What did you think of Ginto? Because they came to him and then he went again, didn't they?
yeah, he's a good horse.
Yeah.
He always has been a good horse.
Big horse.
A big, rangy horse. I think he is rock solid. And again, he can be ridden any way, shape or form. You can drop him in, you can make the running. He's a good one. I'm not so sure Sir Gerhard will go off as short as you think he will on the day with the likes of Ginto and them in it. This is a good race. This is a bloody good race. Now there's some very, very good horses.
I think Ginto would probably be the one for me. The only slight niggle that I've got with him is that he jumps a little bit out to his right, which we obviously spoke about earlier. Do you think at pace at Cheltenham that could be ironed out?
I think at pace and with company, better race, concentrating. You know, he was making the run, and anytime he's done it is when he was alone in front. I think he could just. I feel if he was going left-handed, he could have jumped left, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was just a little bit of idleness on his part.
Okay.
Well, you're both talking me into punting Ginto, which means it'll probably end up in the Albert Bartlett. Phil, he's Sir Gerhard with the idea.
Yeah, Sir Gerhard if he turns up, and it's probably Ginto's if he doesn't. It's pretty simple.
And yourself?
Oh, I'm Ginto. I'm mad about that horse. Yeah.
I'm going to join that party as well now. There we go. I've already done enough money on this race, I might as well do a bit more. But thanks, guys. That's an intriguing Ballymore. Tricky to work out, but certainly something to look forward to.